Hi there, Alana Terry here, and I want to chat with you about the difference between leading goals and lagging goals. It's the time of year where a lot of us are thinking about goal setting, and if we don't go into our goal setting knowing the difference between a leading goal and a lagging goal, sometimes that can be a kind of setup for disappointment. So for those of you who feel like you set New Year's resolutions and they fail before they start, it's very possible that either you're just you have unrealistic expectations or it could be that you have not made the mental distinction that you need to make between what is a leading goal and what is a lagging goal. So let's start with some definitions to get us started. So a leading goal is different than a lagging goal in how the outcome is measured. So a lagging goal means that the result lags behind what you do. Whereas a leading goal means that you're in 100% control. The leading goal is the action, the lagging goal is the desired outcome. So I know that probably could be confusing if you've never heard these terms before. So let me use it in a couple different examples. I think the easiest way to explain this is in terms of health and fitness, and then we'll talk about how this applies to us in our writing lives. So in health and fitness, for example, you might set a goal to lose 20 pounds. If you assume that that is a leading goal, then you might be disappointing yourself because remember, the leading goal is what you do. The lagging goal is your hoped for outcome as a result. So when it comes to setting goals for your fitness, if you were to set leading goals, which are the things that you are 100% in charge of, those might be things like going on a specific kind of diet, or making an appointment with a nutritionist, or adding a new exercise routine. Those are all actions that you take. So those fall under the category of a leading goal. The lagging goal, again, is the desired outcome, losing the 20 pounds or being able to lift a 45 pound dumbbell or something, right? Those are the lagging goals. Those are what are the desired result. Most important thing to keep in mind, and the thing that most thoroughly distinguishes the leading goal from the lagging goal, is the leading goals you basically have 100% control over. They are choices that you make or actions that you take. Whereas the lagging goals are what we hope to come from these goals. So as an example, let's apply this to our writing lives now. If you were to say, I want to write for an hour a day, that is a leading goal. That is an action that you have control over, that you can take and you can measure. Whereas saying, I want to publish 10 books, that's slightly more of a lagging goal. Now, that one kind of falls in a gray area. There is a gray area because, yeah, in a way, you're in control of a lot of those things, but you're not necessarily in control of whether or not your cover designer gets sick and takes a month off and you get delayed or something like that. So a leading goal for writers might be things like, I'm going to write this many words a day, or I'm going to write for this number of writing sprints a week, or I am going to join this writing accountability group, right? These are actions that you take. The lagging goals would be things like how much money you make or how many books you publish. Things like that come as a result. So when you're thinking about your goals, it's totally fine to set leading goals and lagging goals. I'm not saying that you should only set one or the other, but where we often fall into discouragement is when we assume that a goal that we set is a leading goal when really it's a lagging goal, right? That's the person who says, I want to lose 20 pounds, and they don't lose the 20 pounds. They don't have full control over all of that. Do you have control over how much you exercise? Yeah, right? So setting leading goals is probably the more important, at least to get you started. And it's totally fine to set a lagging goal, but it's important to recognize that it is a lagging goal. So what I mean by that is it's totally fine to set a goal. I want to sell 100,000 books this year. But it's important to recognize that that is a lagging goal, and you need some leading goals to lead up to that. So maybe to break it down, your overall lagging goal is $100,000 in book sales. So therefore, you're going to set certain things that you are going to do no matter what as your leading goals. Maybe that means I'm going to take this course on ads. I'm going to devote this many hours a week for 3 months to learning and running ads. I'm going to get these many books out, and I'm going to create a newsletter backlist sequence, right? Those are the things that you're in control of. Your expected and hoped for result is $100,000 in book sales. But even if you don't hit your lagging goal, if you hit all of your leading goals, that's what we celebrate. So that's the other mistake that we fall into, is only celebrating the lagging goals, when really it's more important to celebrate the leading goals, because those are the things that you have 100% control over. So as you're thinking about your goals for the year and things like that, I encourage you to think about them in these two different camps, and then also to break it down in different categories. Set yourself, if you're a goal type person, some people just plot away and goals don't really mean a ton to them. If you're the kind of person who loves this time of year because you love diving into all the goals, one thing I encourage you to do is just make categories for your goals. Here's my goals for like my actual writing, right? Number of words written, number of books produced. Here's my goals for my finances, how much I want to earn, or how much I want to work on my marketing, or things like that. Set yourself some admin goals if you want to and or need to. This might be like, I'm finally going to get my website updated, right? That's a total leading goal. It's something that you have complete control over. And then go ahead and set yourself some lagging goals, but remember that those are basically just the benchmarks. What is on you and what's to be celebrated is hitting your leading goals. If you make the lagging goals, that's just a nice hoped for outcome. So your lagging goals might be a certain number of books sold, or a certain number of, hitting a certain income. It could mean getting your newsletter to a certain number or something like that, right? These are all things that come as a result of the work that we ourselves do. So anytime you're thinking about your productivity, just remember there are some things that are 100% on you, and then there are some things that are just the hoped for outcome. You could do all the things. You could write to market. You could get a great cover. You could get a great blurb. You could do all the things right. That's not going to guarantee you're going to sell a certain number of books, though, right? Because there are other factors outside of your control. So focus most of your attention on the things that you can control. Go ahead and set yourself these lagging goals, but just remember that these are things that you can hold on to a little bit more loosely because you don't have full control over them. I wish you amazing success. If you are the type who just loves sitting down and setting goals this time of year, I hope you have a great time. I hope you also just enjoy some nice reflection, seeing how the year went. I hope it was a great year for you, and I hope that next year is even better.